I've been thinking about how the genre of absurdist fiction works in prose and theater, but not exactly in film. If you want to do it in film, you have to layer it and layer it and layer it in genre with like comedy and mystery and romance and thriller in order to make it work. I think the best people who do it are the Coen Brothers, or David Lynch perhaps. Now, when I'm talking about absurdist fiction, for me, that means a character is stuck in a world and they don't know why, and they can't get out, and no one will help them, and it seems that there is no end in sight. They have no idea why they're there. I think that a really concrete way to do this in film is the film noir, because you have someone that's hired for sometimes seemingly no reason. They're paid, so they have to stay in it, and they can't escape this journey until they solve this mystery that really has nothing to do with them, and sometimes has nothing to do with anything at all. And again, this is why the Coen Brothers work, because they take all of this absurdist fiction and they layer it in all these genres and they make it functional. Barton Fink is probably their purest absurdist fiction, but when they do it with something like The Big Lebowski, which is based on a film noir, The Big Sleep, they really nail it because they hit every single fucking genre. It's a comedy, it's a romance, it's a stoner film, it's a thriller, it's a mystery. You name it, it's there. But I want to get back to the idea that in the film noir, someone is being paid to do something and they get stuck in it and they can't get out until they stop being paid. And I think that this can relate to a couple things, but mainly working in the film industry. Sometimes you get paid to work on a project and you can't get out of it and you're stuck in it and you don't know why you're doing this piece of art, but you have to because you're being paid and you committed and you just can't get out and there's nothing you can do. And this is another angle of how my film, Sydney, is both absurdist fiction and a comment on the entertainment industry. Now, if I were to go further about what that means in regards to Sydney, I would tear down the film, ruin its point, so I'm not. So I want to take a closer look at the Coen Brothers. I mean, honestly, there's not really much to look at. Whether it's Barton Fink, The Big Lebowski, A Serious Man, Raising Arizona, Burn After Reading, Inside Llewyn Davis, these are all situations where people are stuck in them and they don't know why and they can't get out, but they are surrounded by these brilliant genre elevations. I think this is why John Goodman is perfect for their movies, especially in Barton Fink. He's always teetering in and out of this reality and non-reality and trust and non-trust, and that's exactly what absurdist fiction is. Who can you really trust? And the truth is, in the world of absurdist fiction, I don't think you can trust anyone, and you don't have the knowledge to even trust yourself. In the world of absurdist fiction, knowledge is just an illusion. Kafka, who is maybe in prose the king of absurdist fiction, they say that when Kafka died, he tried to burn all of his writing, but he actually had a friend who had copies all of it, and that's the only reason we have all of it today. Now, I've never understood this story because Kafka had to have known that his friend had his stories and wasn't going to burn them. So was this gesture of burning his work just an extension of his work itself? And does absurdist fiction work if no one is being paid or waiting for power, waiting for God, waiting for Godot? Does absurdity come from money and power and fame? So if absurdity comes from aspiring to find money and power and fame, what happens to those who don't acquire them in fiction? Do they become chaos? If we wait for love, does that no longer become absurdist fiction? Does that just become a traditional story? So, are we either waiting for control or to experience a feeling? If we experience feelings, do we need control? And if we maintain control, can we truly experience feelings that we don't force upon ourselves or others? Is there a balance between control and natural emotion, flowing as it goes and comes and comes and goes? I think this is why Raising Arizona is my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Because after all of the absurdity and the Looney Tunes and the chaos, it ends in love and the future and the possibility of beauty. I used to be so obsessed with the absurd, but the more I got caught up in it, the more I was able to let go of it and the more I sought out beauty. Anyway, I gotta go make some money and get some power and find some fame in order to find love. I think that's the only way. So I'm gonna head out.